The Babadook. It's an amazing meditation on motherhood and grief. What did you just say? It's what? What? I do not. I do understand that not every line is written tailor-made for me. Okay, but God just strike me dead that isn't just plainly awful dialogue, no matter how you slice it. She could have said the Babadook. You know, it's an amazing meditation on tits and ass. Two things I absolutely love, and it still would make me want to bury my head in the fucking sand. That's the opening line we're left with. They're like, hey guys, the Babadook. Think about that. The Babadook.
That was pretty good, man. I think it's a really good line, actually. Because have you seen the Babadook? I don't know if you've seen, but actually is a meditation on.
It's a meditation on what you say, motherhood and grief.
Grief, yeah.
Oh.
And despair. I would throw despair in there.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mention it, that does seem like a pretty valid reason to love a horror movie because of how much of a meditation it is on motherhood and grief. Not how scary it is, how gory, disgusting, violent, vicious, how gratuitous. No, none of those things. No.
What kind of meditation
I like my horror movies to be about grief and motherhood. At the very least, you know, if she said tits and ass, those are things that are to some extent are staples of the genre.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And honestly, I was sweating absolute bullets when we first turned the movie on, just fearful, terrified that I may contradict myself from the last time we talked about this movie. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, I had a strange feeling that last time I may have been too nice on it. This time, I know for a fact that won't be the case, which I'm really happy about. Because again, I wondered, you know, hey, you know, it's been a year since I watched the movie and talked about it. A lot can change in a year, you know? Mm-hmm. And thankfully, I still hate it. I was also fearful, what if I ended up liking it? But I guess I was just being too silly with myself.
See, I wanted to like it because I thought we knew it sucked. We could go into it. The sting was gone. We could enjoy it for what it is.
What was the first moment when you realized it sucked?
When she said it was a meditation.
No. That was like the third thing the thing that made me realize it sucked was when the Ghostface says she shouldn't leave her phone around for anyone just to clone. And it's like that felt so 90s to the max. It was ridiculous. That's saying, hey, why don't I direct message you later? Hey, how about you instant message me online? That's the worst kind of shit. And how the hell is that? How does that make it through the filter in the movie that's supposed to be the most postmodern fucking meta film of all time? You know. Then it was, ask me about It Follows, ask me about Hereditary, ask me about The Witch. Shut up!
Yeah, because remember when Kirby did all in the last one? That really flowed just as well.
It was so great when Kirby was like, Halloween, The Hills Have Eyes, My Bloody Valentine, Prom Night. It was awesome. It was great when characters just say utter, complete nonsense just to fill the airtime.
I don't remember when it happened, but whenever you saw her text saying it was from Wes, that's when I realized I wasn't going to like the movie.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, before we can, though, I'm just saying, you know, if someone calls me and they're playing a game where I'm hedging my life as the collateral on said game, and those are the stakes, I'm not saying, oh, I got you now, motherfucker, okay? I'm not saying, fuck you. And I'm not saying, you fuck, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I appreciate your patience, sir. Can we talk about this rationally and come to some sort of an agreement? You seem like a very intelligent man who can express themselves in a civil yet commanding manner.
You just become Mr. Polite.
Okay, yeah. They're like, here's the stakes right here. There's two options. Either I fucking kill you or I don't. I'm like, okay, well, let me know what? Listen to what you have to say.
That second option sounds
Maybe I
pretty
won't
sweet.
have cool one-liners so I can feel cool before I die, okay? And why is everyone... That just proves how fucking... That's the problem with today's society, okay? That's Biden's America. Every fucking person is like, yeah, no, I can say whatever the fuck I want all the time with no consequences. Like, stop encouraging the killer to kill you.
Yes. 100%.
How about you try... Because, again, it's revolutionary. It's never been done before. And the movie can't shut up about it and just stop over how original and new it is. Fucking do something original and new and don't have the killer be like... Don't have the victim just taunt the killer.
Yeah, and speaking of her taunting...
There has to be an in-between between being a pussy begging for your life and being an asshole instigator. There has to be some sort of middle ground. There's a very simple formula.
I kind of liked how initially the conversation was completely unrelated, but then the conversation kind of dragged
I liked it for a second because I started forgetting we were watching Scream. I'm like, yo, is this guy trying to fuck his girlfriend's daughter?
And then he's saying he was jerking off the entire time.
It was so weird. I don't know when the movies got so fucking horny all the time, dude. It felt in the movie.
I kind of like it,
obviously, it's the Scream killer, but when the scene goes on for 10 minutes, I'm like, I guess it's not the Scream killer. I guess it's not Ghostface. It's actually her mom's boyfriend, They did say at the very end her mom's a drunken whore. So like, I guess it's her mom's boyfriend.
One of her mom's boyfriends.
And then the guy, like you say, he's getting off on the phone. Like, is he trying to like finagle some sort of online scenario here?
But then he just abruptly switches.
What's your favorite scary movie? Yeah, and that wasn't a good segue either. By the way, he's like, your mother said you like movies. Do you happen to enjoy the ones of the horror type genre?
Only if it's a meditation.
She's like, more horror adjacent. He's like, can you elaborate?
I really want to be meditating upon the thoughts of motherhood
and grief.
Grief, thank you.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word.
What was your favorite part of that movie? Probably the meditation it had on motherhood and grief.
Yeah, that was really the best part. It wasn't so much.
It wasn't so much the film or what we were seeing or hearing or the spectacle or the characters or the shots or the music choice or the cinematography or the dialogue or the general overall story. None of that really. It was just that that meditation of motherhood and grief that accompanied the rest of the film.
Well, none of those elements.
If anything, it was more of just like it was the movie was the spoon, okay, and the phenomenal soup was the meditation of motherhood and grief.
Yes,
it was just the device to deliver me the meditation. And here's also newsflash, asshole. Okay, It was kind of cool in 1996 when you said, "Who's the killer in Friday the 13th?" And in a situation in which she was panicked, she said, "Jason." And he's like, "No, it was Mrs. Voorhees." Right?
Yeah.
That works. Okay. You know what's not nearly even half as cool? When you have her say, "Billy Loomis, you motherfucker," and he's like, "Ha! There was two killers. It was also Stu Bucker." It's like,
yeah, I agree. It does not have the same effect.
it doesn't work anymore. Okay, and also, especially when the bitch comes from the town, when she's not even comes from. It's like she comes from the town now. Now she's 30. She's 30 and 32. What'd she say? Now I'm 30, flirty, 30 and thriving. There it is. Flirty, 30 and thriving. I kept thinking she said 32. Like, why would the number be so specific?
Yeah, because 2 rhymes with flirty.
Exactly. Okay, so my point is, she's come from the town. She lives in the town. She's standing there. The guy's talking to her about the movie.
I think it's the house where Amy Teagarden got killed. I think it's the same. It is the same.
If someone is talking to you about some, it'd be literally like this character was in the towers, and then the person's mentioning 9/11. She's just like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" Oh, that? Oh, yeah. No, I remember. He's literally talking to you about the movie's premise. You come from the town. You can't think of any time where for your entire life, without question, every Halloween, all anyone's talking about is, "Hey, remember when fucking everyone got murdered?" She's gonna forget that there's 2 killers. She's like, "Oh, I thought it was 1. Shit."
That's a really
I only saw the movie once, but I forgot about the whole real life story it's based on that I live in.
That's a really good point. You think she remembered the fact that there was 2 killers?
No, apparently,
because Michael Myers.
Because you know why? Because Stab isn't a meditation on motherhood and grief.
That's right. She couldn't understand it.
She couldn't understand it. How could she wrap her head around it?
She wasn't able to meditate.
That was just a fucking spoon, no soup.
And spoons suck.
And you know the great part about Tara's character is, okay, she's a shaman, all right? You give her salt, she gives you soup. Why? Because soup is better, okay? We are all better than we think we are. We're just designed not to believe it when we hear it from ourselves.
And how come they don't follow? They open up on a cold open with her getting stabbed, but then I guess the killer just fucking forgot the actual killing aspect.
Well, the killer I have an issue with this killer right off the gate as well, right off the jump, because they're morally bankrupt, and I don't like that in my Ghostface killer. I don't support that. Okay, you can't say bonus time and then not give her time to answer the bonus question. You can't say, "Here's your bonus question," and then not give her time to answer and just stab her. You said he literally says, do you think I made it into the house before you could set the alarm? And before she even has time to contemplate that, he's like, "No, I made it inside." How is that a bonus question?
It was more of like a rhetorical riddle than it was so much as a question.
No, you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like a morally bankrupt Ghostface.
Could be.
And based on how the rest of the movie turned out, you know what I'd say? I think that's a pretty right on hunch.
Isn't it better, though, knowing that Randall Quaid is...
Randall Quaid?
Is, well, I don't want to say too much because you always get me when I spoil things.
Right.
So I'm not going to say my thing.
Right, okay.
But my favorite thing in the movie so far is actually his opening line, "You are my boner pills."
That was interesting.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was rough when he, like, broke her leg. And I thought it was like really rough when he stabbed through her hands. That's definitely rougher. And then I was like, wow, maybe the Baker dozens of knives afterward was actually even rougher. He just kept stabbing away all happy.
But where was he stabbing? Because he missed.
That's my point. But then she's not dead. So what the hell was that scene?
Yeah, exactly. What was the point?
And like you said, then we get to cut. Then after getting that, phenomenal opening scene, we get sucked into the meat and potatoes of the story.
The stew.
Yeah, of the stew. Yeah, now it's a stew. And we get to meet the new Sydney. And this isn't that old school Sydney. This is that new school Sydney. And it's that new school Sydney, but it's where we accompany her with just the shittiest possible song while doing it. It's like, hey guys, here's your new character. Don't you want to fucking kill yourself? Just seeing her and listening to this song. That was the emotional tone they went to set the precedent for the rest of the movie.
It's you think it's gonna be Outkast, and it's not Outkast.
No, and then it's some other song, and it's like, yo,
what the fuck was that about, guys?
why not just start playing that? Why not playing Outkast?
Also, because it's new school.
How about since this movie is also supposed to be like, oh, it's the original one, how do you just play like only exclusively 90s music and not whatever you thought was fucking bopping in 2022?
Yeah, what?
Because it wasn't.
That song?
Okay, everything you played was dog shit.
Everything you wrote down was
everything
dog
you wrote
shit.
down was dog shit. Everything you
your
shot was
dog shit.
All the chemistry you thought you cast was non-existent, and what you did have was dog shit. And you know what I really hate too, though?
What do you hate?
I really hate that someone somewhere, I'm not sure who, of the think tank came up with it, but someone somewhere probably feels pretty prideful and joyous for naming the character Wes.
I know.
And it absolutely enrages me. I don't understand how the fuck is that even a slight homage? What about douchebag number 6 from the 2020s asshole catalog screamed Wes Craven to them?
Well, Wes Craven had blonde hair like that. You don't remember?
No, I don't. I don't actually at all. Not even a little bit. I remember that. And I don't understand how this is. What kind of fucked up continued legacy is this? The first person to die. We're going to honor the guy who just died by killing someone who's named after him because he's fucking dead. We're gonna play honor to him. They're like, Wes would have wanted it this way. He loved people getting killed in horror movies.
He was the master of suspense. Is how he would have done it.
He's the master of suspense.
He always said if he could choose how he'd go out, he'd be getting stabbed through the throat.
If you always just shoot, how do I want to die?
Knife to the throat.
Yeah, but I think I want to have like dyed blonde hair. You know,
of course.
And maybe it'd be like a total douchebag. And maybe like just fucking suck. And like, oh my god, dude. Holy shit. That's so good you said that before you died, because I have this character in this new Scream movie, and it's literally this annoying prick with artificial blonde hair who fucking sucks. I'm trying to figure out what to name him.
We were calling Bob, but like,
who the hell is even named Bob? And he's like, wait, really? You'd call him Wes for me? He's like, you know what, Wes? I would.
We would love to call.
It'd be an honor.
No. The honor is mine.
No, the honor is mine. I would love for my legacy to live on for an additional 37 seconds posthumously.
Yeah.
How about we go? Well, and then he's like, well, what if Wes doesn't get killed? And like, well, come on.
Maybe he saves the day.
Well, yeah. What if we build a franchise around a character named Wes? If you want to make it a girl, fine. Make the girl named Wes. I can perfectly buy that.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Is the name Sam? Like it's an S name. Gotta get the S name thing so everyone likes it.
They'd be too confused if it was some
other
name.
How about you make the main character's name Wes, and then so everyone can say, oh, okay, see they are, because they're not going to kill Wes, so Wes gets to live on.
This one really was for Wes.
Instead, Kevin Williamson, now that he has gone mad with power over the franchise, he's like, fuck that guy, fuck him.
No, he didn't even do this one.
Exactly, they produced it.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, and he also must have gotten paid something for them showing Dawson's Creek in his movie. It's like, hey guys, isn't that funny? We showed Dawson's Creek. That show's syndicated.
It is now.
When is that show? I've watched a lot of TV. I don't recall ever, especially in 2022.
I never even saw it on.
I was giving you benefit of the doubt for a second, thinking this was like 2006. No. In 2022, what channel? Who's airing Dawson's Creek on 11:30 in the middle of the week?
It must be the DVDs.
In the hospital?
Oh, it's the hospital.
She's in the hospital.
Maybe.
And also, what extensive plan? What channel package does this hospital provide to find a station that is playing Dawson's Creek?
I never even saw Dawson's Creek when it was on the air.
Yeah, not once. But this fucking hospital, just so they could say, "Hey, look, it's the same thing they did with the fucking they having Tatum's name on a box. Like, look, Tatum, See, we referenced it. We referenced Dawson's Creek. We referenced Tatum. We're very competent writers.
No, speaking of competent writers, this entire movie just felt like someone found fan fiction and said, "We're gonna do it."
I think the worst case of the fan fiction was this movie's attempt at the quad scene. The thing that was only done well in the first movie and never came remotely close. The quad, like sitting in the quad talking, you look very confused. Like, excuse me.
Because
did
every time
did they go BMX biking?
Because every time I wrote Quaid in my notes, it corrected it to quad.
Nice.
So I thought you just had that same issue, and you just said quad unintentionally. Like, wait, is he talking about Quaid, or is he actually mean a quad?
No, I meant quad. I meant they're all in the quad, and the editing's worse than the previous one. The directing's worse. The writing's worse. The producing's worse. The chemistry is non-existent, and it's just a lot of cannon fodder. And then what's really cool, right when I think the movie can't get any worse, as it's already started off very low, you know what happens?
What?
That one douchebag, he's like, time to introduce him to Hobbs and Shaw. Was that even topical in 2022?
Dude, my brain
because it's brain dead in 2023, and I find it very hard to believe that the Hobbs and Shaw train like just really died down in the last 12 months.
Yeah,
I find that less likely. I think it's more likely that was just a stupid fucking thing to say then, and maybe anyone can suggest, like, can we maybe actually pick something that's actually iconic instead of just trying to pretend it's iconic for the sake of saying it is?
No, that's how it works now.
How about like Tango and Cash? That's 90s. Isn't this the movie that's talking about the 90s all the time? Tango and Cash.
That was old school.
Tango and Cash. No, I get what you're saying, but it just doesn't have that. Just the way Hobbs and Shaw sounds, like it really got that bite to it.
Plus, this is a younger crowd. They're not gonna know what the fuck Tango and Cash is, but everybody.
Yeah, they're not gonna know what Hobbs and Shaw was either, dude. I would have honestly preferred. Yeah, does he want to meet Fast and Furious?
That's pretty sick.
At least that one's like, oh, I've heard of those movies.
Oh my god, I forgot. Now I know what you're talking about. The jerk off refers to his arms as Luke and
that's why I said it.
Dude, I can't remember what the fuck you're talking about. It was so stupid I blocked it.
He's like, hey, this is 10 Things I Hate. This one's She's All That. Like, oh, it's the 90s movie. This movie's talking about the 90s. Time to introduce him to fucking Hobbs and Shaw. How about time for you to see how long you can hold your breath and then hold it a little longer, okay? I'm done with you, okay? Get him out of here.
To get him out of here. Yeah, the guys sucked. They all sucked. They all sucked so much it physically fucking hurt at most times of the movie. It hurt to watch.
You know what else hurt to watch? When they're in the quad and they have the audacity to say, yeah, a guy named Billy Loomis and his friend, almost like Billy Loomis is going to be particularly more so relevant to the story than the other guy. Almost like they're trying to foreshadow that. It's almost as if these writers went to that like writers school thing and they're like, don't introduce something in the first act. They won't come back later in the story.
That's so true.
Don't introduce something in the first act unless they'll come back in the first, in the third act. You gotta really make sure. You don't want to introduce something unless it'll come back later. And they're like, oh my fucking god, that makes so much sense. We'll have it where they emphasize that specifically Stu's not as important as Billy. Then they'll be like, oh my god, why is Billy so important? And then it'll make sense when we shoehorn in why Billy's so important. And you're thinking like, what, will that come in the third act? No. They were so fucking energized, like, we're doing it right. Our professors would be so proud. And then what happens? 5 seconds later, they get in the car and say, look, Billy's in the mirror.
It's great they did that too, because it would have been really confusing if they said Billy and his friend Stu. Because then we would have been the whole time, where the fuck is Stu? Why aren't we seeing Stu's ghost?
You're exactly right. That would just be confusing.
It would have been super confusing.
Because then it'd be like, you know what the problem was? They probably thought about how cool it would be to have Stu's ghost as well and Billy's ghost. But then they were like, but then it's going to get confusing because then she's going to be seeing two dead guys, and then the whole audience is going to be like, wait, which one's her dad?
Yeah, really.
And it's going to get real twisted real fast. And it's like, yeah, I guess.
Only one's her dad, but they both.
Why are either of them her dad?
Yeah.
Why are we having flashbacks?
Speaking.
Why are we seeing Billy?
I've been wondering this the whole time. See, because.
And why even reference him? Why talk about two copycat high school loser ass dickheads? Okay, Stu was a pussy ass wet rag, and Billy Loomis. What the fuck? Jesus.
When exactly would Billy have had time to knock up some other chick? Because
I have no idea. We saw him have a brisk couple years on this planet. He got fucking killed,
and he was in jail, and he was trying to fuck Sydney, and he was clearly not getting into the side, okay? You don't act that way when you're getting side pussy.
Exactly.
You act that way when you're fucking in a PG relationship, okay?
And guess what? Before he was dating Sydney, he looked like he did in The Craft. So he wasn't getting anything then either. So this guy did not knock up
I don't know if that's
anyone.
canonical.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
absolutely
think. I
like
don't
that.
think his. I understand that Nev Campbell's also in The Craft, and I can understand why that could be confusing to you. But I don't think it's at all connected.
It's definitely connected. Yeah, we should rewatch the movie because I think you're confused.
I don't think so. What's how long did it take you from the quad scene to find another scene you hated? Because I got one right now, locked and loaded.
Probably the next scene.
It's the next scene. And it's so cool, too, because this scene in the bar of the Scooby Gang hanging out around the pool table, not playing pool for a single shot of it.
That was actually my favorite scene.
It was so cool because it's just such a good backdrop, and it just felt so instantaneously so iconic, and it just falls right in line with those scenes from, like, you know, the Emporium and Dazed and Confused, and just, like, the hub in that same sort of. It's just one of those iconic, cool spots all the kids hang out at.
Dude, I couldn't place it. It's so the Emporium scene.
And then, what happens? Kyle Gallner comes into the movie to flirt with a minor.
And then it came like a hurricane.
Yeah, that's what should have happened. But no, instead it's just whatever shitty music was playing in that shitty scene. And that was the character work he had to take. I really don't get Kyle
I know.
Gallner's
What the
entire career.
fuck?
This guy's agent is an absolute lunatic. The stuff he sends him out for, it's like he literally yells something saying like, "Oh, you sitting over here at the kids' table?" And it's like, "Yeah, with her friend, you fucking disgusting lunatic, you dirty fucking hamster." And then he unfairly gets to have right red hand play as he gets killed.
I know. That bothered
the most
me too.
unearned thing of his immediate death. This would have been a great role for him if this was like 3 months after he was the fucking Flash back in 2002, where it's like, oh shit, you got a little bit of a TV spot, now you're in a supporting role in a major motion picture. But that was 20 fucking years ago, and he's still getting those fucking roles. Weren't you the guy who was like in the trailer for The Walking Dead in season 4, promised to be a character, and then got murdered right then and there? Wasn't that 9 years ago? 9? Why are you taking on these shitty roles? You love Scream that much? If you love Scream that much, how about you don't fucking desecrate and be in this god-awful requel? That you never want to hear ever fucking again?
Fans are actually debating on the terminology.
Fans are debating the terminology.
It doesn't fucking exist. No one's ever said requel until this movie came out.
And no one will ever say it again. Except for, unfortunately,
Yeah, the
they
next
probably
one.
will. Do you know why? Because there's a fucking sequel to this one.
What are they going to call
What is that one called? A sequel? A sequel?
A sequel.
And that flows off the fucking tongue.
It's actually really easy to say.
And then they'll have some little cheeky line where they're like, fans are even debating this one more. Okay.
Fans never really got to the bottom of the whole requel debate, but now they're really confused on this whole sequel debate.
Sequel. Yeah, honestly. Way more contentious.
It's a sequel to the rebooted sequel.
How do you think we should introduce Billy and establish this whole father-daughter connection and really, just make it feel organic? What if he says, how you doing, Sam? Antipsychotics aren't working like they used to, huh?
This is sort of a rap song.
Yeah, what if we only have like an hour and 54 minutes, so what if we just, I don't fucking know, just have him tell us that she apparently is fucked up, and he just explains to her that she's having vision. Let's not even have them be like, wait, what's she seeing? Let's just tell them right now that this bitch is cuckoo, and she's seeing shit in reflections. Let's make sure you get that now, because you know what they say again? They say it again. Don't introduce something in the first act unless it plays a crucial part in the third act.
That always makes no sense.
Always makes the most sense. That's what all great writers do. Everyone knows it. It's because that's what writing is. It's a very simple formula. And not to mention, Skeet Ulrich looks like a really, really shitty Skeet Ulrich lookalike.
Yeah.
It's honestly, if they had him wearing literally any kind of clothing besides the exact outfit from the original, I wouldn't have recognized him. You throw him in a polo shirt, I'm like, who's in the back of her car?
Billy Loomis. Why they recast Billy Loomis?
Who's this? Who? Why am I at the Olive Garden with all these fat people? Okay, that's exactly what it feels like in that moment.
And it's amazing she can even picture him in the first place, because I couldn't fucking hallucinate someone I've seen every day of my life that well. What would she have seen? 2 photos in the diary she read from her mom's fucking book?
You know what they should have done?
How
If
does
this
she know
movie
what he
had
looks
any,
like?
if this movie wanted to have any charm whatsoever, which was so apparently far off their checklist of what they needed to accomplish with this movie, okay? And not at one point did they ever think, Wait a minute. Shit, is this entertaining? Oh, fuck. I was too busy worrying about the meditation of motherhood and grief. I forgot to think about if this movie was good or not. Fuck. Shit.
Come to think about it,
Oh
Scream
my
really
god,
is
we
good
only have 3
meditation.
weeks left to film. Oh my god, I could reshoot if there's not enough time. I'll just release this complete piece of shit.
I don't know. It worked out for him. I mean, because apparently everyone loves this one.
Oh, I didn't say it was going to be charming though. You know what would have been charming though? This movie wasn't a piece of shit.
What's that?
They should have actually has because you're right. She would never. Why would she have such photorealistic sensations of Billy Loomis?
I guess I looked it up once or twice.
That's not the point.
What?
You know what she would have known?
What?
Luke Wilson.
Oh,
They
you're
should have had her
right.
see visions of Luke. This movie
Dude,
had
you for
half
fact
of a brain.
said this last time we
if this
talked
movie
about
had
this.
half of a brain, Luke Wilson would 1000% be in the not flashbacks. I would assume it was flashbacks in the exclusively mirror acting. It would have been Luke Wilson.
And he comes in it twice. What's the fucking point of having his ghost in the first goddamn place?
I don't think it's his
Why
ghost.
is this connected
It's not,
to
it's not a
Scream in the
ghost.
first fucking
It's not,
place?
I have no idea. That question was raised so many times when I was thinking about what. You know how many things I wanted to write down and talk about, and I just had to stop myself. I'm like, do I even need to? Is this even why? What the hell's going on around here? And I couldn't bear myself to even try. This movie, surprise, okay? Que sera, sera. I had to fucking stop this movie halfway down watching it last night. 'Cause like, I can't do this anymore.
It's so bad.
And we have all those complaints, and we haven't even gotten to the point where we checked out yet.
Dude, we're like 20 minutes in.
I know this movie's a slow burner.
Can't wait. Dude, fucking Hayden Panettiere better save the next one, man.
Hey, she doesn't.
Because it's in City, not even in the next one.
She's barely in this one.
Yeah, you know what? Fucking Scream only works if it's revolving exclusively around Sydney.
It's almost as if like the first 4 times we had a Scream movie, that's what it was doing.
Yeah.
And it almost like it worked like at the very least 2.5 out of those 4 times.
No, 3 is amazing. Now we just watched.
Yeah, I know.
this
3
one.
is so
it
fucking
worked
good.
100% of the time.
Oh my
before.
god, 3 Roman Bridges director, I never saw coming.
I know. Why didn't he direct this?
Yeah, maybe we should have killed the fucking actual guy. And not to mention too, it's like even going back to tread waters on Billy Loomis now being a serial killer. It's like no, he's not. He's just some guy that Roman Bridges manipulated into killing people.
Yeah, and he killed like 4 people. Does that make you
And
a
also,
serial
yeah,
killer?
we have very loose definitions of what serial killers are.
Yeah, really.
And also, what constitutes as like national media coverage?
That's also true.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's banging an eyelash over 6 people getting stabbed. It's like, shit, rolling my windows up. That's about the extent of it. Or wow, that maybe in the obits you can read about it. But there's no way they're like, frag alert. 6 kids in fucking Wyoming got stabbed.
Bone zone.
Exactly. And then we get, you want to fuck with me, asshole? Come get me. It's like, why is everyone in this movie so fucking abrasive?
Who said that?
What do you think?
They all sound exactly the same.
Our awesome, super cool, new, fun, amazing, charismatic, charming, sexy, gorgeous, fantastically talented, well-spoken, intelligent lead, Sam.
Dude, definitely, we watched 2 different movies.
We
'cause that was
must
not the
have.
impression I had of her.
Like, yeah, those
whatsoever.
were not the adjectives that I would have used at all.
Yeah, no, I would use very different adjectives.
I would have said she's fucking horrid.
She's terrible. How'd you? I can't. I don't know what to say. It's fucking. I don't understand, dude. She just like deadpans the entire movie. Half the time she's just staring blankly.
Yeah, that's actually true. She stares blankly so much she misses. I forget who it was. I think it was literally like Matt Damon or something. No, I think it was not Matt Damon. I think it was Glenn Howard, and I think it was It's Always Sunny podcast. They were talking about when they first filmed the pilot the first time, like the one that didn't make it to air. They didn't know what like eye lines were in shots, so they didn't know that the person should be looking up this way to make it look normal for the perspective of the camera. So apparently the first episode was just like everyone was staring off into the wrong direction the entire thing,
really?
and they're like, "Wow, that was a rookie mistake. We need to fix that."
That's great.
We didn't realize that was a thing that happens. It's like, okay, that was. I give them, they were filming that on a camcorder. No, they wouldn't have a viewfinder like, oh shit, guys, look up. So that hey, shit happens.
Yeah.
This was a major motion picture. How about someone just, hey, here. Wandering eyes, fuck. And I understand that somewhere in some dull, drab, and dingy little room, a deep conversation was had with the brain trust behind this film saying, yeah, no, she gets a call from the killer. We have to have her say, "Come and get me, asshole," because we can't have her saying something like, my boyfriend plays football and he's super strong and he'll beat you up, because that would be very diminutive and demeaning towards women to have it where we're implying she needs some sort of help from her strong football player boyfriend.
Her strong football.
So obviously we have to have her, of course, rely on, have her. We just need to make sure she feels, the audience needs to know she's strong like bull, okay? She's strong like bull. So what if we have her, instead of saying like, my boyfriend will, beat you up, we have her be like, fuck it, I'll fucking fuck you up, bitch, you little piece of shit, fuck you, come get me, you asshole pussy. And then, to double down on it, we'll have the killer do what she requests immediately, and then instead of her being tough and like actually push come to shove doing something, she's like, oh shit, and she falls out of the way, shocked, scared, petrified, terrified. It's like, oh my god, maybe that makes me, maybe having her rely on her boyfriend, who is tough to kick his ass, actually would have made her feel, at the very least, intelligent. Because I agree, if she said, come get me, and then she fucking 1-2 killed him, I would have been like, damn, this is like Ellen Ripley shit. This is Sadakana, I'm like, oh my god, this is a tough, strong, amazing lead character. She's badass. But after this fucking pussy says, come get me, asshole, she's completely fight or freeze, and she's fucking booking it. How is that our lead? That's charming. Sydney fought back with the first time she saw the killer.
It's a little charming if you think about it.
You're right. That's the problem. I didn't think about it enough. You know what? Now you've said that, I thought about it. It's actually pretty charming. The first 31 minutes of this, everything we said, I just realized how charming it was.
Yeah, you're really just looking at.
We've been really just making mountains out of molehills.
That's what. Oh, you know what? I think is probably the.
Don't you dare try to say we're done talking about the movie.
No.
I think I say, well, here's the time, the best of time where we say goodbye now.
I think the biggest molehills we try. I don't know what I was trying to say. You just fucked me up with that joke.
All right, here's what we'll talk about. The fact that Hicks is the sheriff now.
Oh yeah, and also, dude, she's not a mom. Do you see the
I
tension
know.
between those two? It's some cougar cub shit going on.
That was the tension? Yeah.
She's like, go take a shower. I'll come back and lather you up.
I
you
know,
sexy
it was
little
crazy.
boy.
Then
What
he's
the
like,
fuck?
yo, that's awesome. Thanks, Mom.
What kind of food do you want? I'll get the food you want. I'm gonna come blow you.
Yeah, this movie was raunchy at times. It was kind of crazy. But no, I think it's cool that Hicks is the sheriff now. And it's just so cool that this town has not any other cop in the line of succession to interrupt the only two cops we're familiar with in the town being the sheriffs, because it would have been so confusing to just introduce us to a third potential cop.
Dude,
obviously, the only person who could possibly be the cop in this town is former Deputy Judy Hicks. Not to mention the fact that I kind of think I need to see the governing board or town census that shows the voting data suggesting that Dewey and Hicks both won. I want to see an inventory, okay? Because I'm not sure that's an elected. That's not. You don't just get promoted to being the chief.
It's a small town. They kind of just volunteer.
No, that's not how it works either. You have to be like an elected person.
Not in Woodsbury.
Woodsboro.
Not in Woodsboro.
No.
No.
Maybe in Woodsbury they don't have to, but in Woodsboro they probably do.
Obviously not, because like you just pointed out, Dewey's first to sheriff.
I know.
And then it
Dewey-
goes to Lemon Squares.
It's a corrupt fucking town.
It really
is a corrupt town. There's no other rational explanation as to why these two knuckleheads are like chief law enforcement. All right, Woodsboro PD should have a higher standard, okay? Fucking the fact that Dewey was even able to. You're telling me Dewey, who is just again sometimes has nerve damage, but like other times doesn't. It's like he became the sheriff. Isn't there some sort of a physical requirement required here?
In Woodsbury, but not in Woodsboro.
Not in Woodsboro. Woodsboro, very relaxed. You can just become it's a volunteer. Like, hey, who does anyone want to be the sheriff?
I
And
used to be
Dewey's
the
like, I'd
heavyweight
like
champion.
to throw my hat in the ring on that one. Anyone else? No? Hey, guys. Congratulations to Dewey.
And
then he was the sheriff.
in town.
And then he definitely did. That's probably how he started off the first fucking morning for the first 6 years of his sheriff. It's like, there's a new... And Gail's just like, shut the fuck up.
Can't Dale, because there's a new... I said Dale. Can't Gail, because there's a new sheriff in town.
I think this must have been the second movie in the new trilogy of Scream movies, and I think we missed one of them
That makes
because
a
we're
lot
not
more
even
sense.
30 minutes in at this point, and this girl's just running her fucking mouth about finding some fucking book and finding out that her dad's Billy Loomis, and so that she turned to just not to just any drug in particular to make it feel like it's like you know what had weight to it. Okay, here's what they did instead.
Heroin.
Heroin
Black tar
heroin packs a
heroin.
punch. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Okay, having her say, not any drug, but all drugs, just all the drugs until she couldn't take it anymore. To be specific, you know what that makes it sound like? It's like you've had sex. Oh yeah, tons of times.
I know, because you know what? She
You ever get your dick
completely
sucked?
fine.
Oh yeah, dude, tons of all the time. I get my dick sucked constantly.
You're getting sucked right now. You
Yeah,
just
dude,
can't
I've
tell.
gotten blown. I don't even know how many times. I couldn't even count if I tried. Well, like you got like a girl who's like you friends with, and it's like so many girls. I couldn't even tell you how many girls it's been. It's just
So many girls I'm
I've
friends
gotten my
with.
dick sucked so many times, and it's like you've done all the drugs. Tell me one of them. Say one of them. Make it feel like there's something here. But you know, because again, it feels a lot more vicious than saying some broad, generic, oversimplified. This person who has their fingers so far off the pulses up their ass as they're writing the script. Okay,
Chocolate pretzel.
chocolate covered pretzel. Okay, you know what feels a lot more heavy than what drugs did I do? Like all of them.
You name it.
You name it, I did it. It's like, however, she's like, I left for 5 years. I had a serious, like a crippling addiction to heroin. Okay, my life really spun out of control for a while. Okay, I'm just putting it back together now. I was gone for 5 years. I remember about 8 months. You know what it's kind of like to go walk around every day knowing there's 4 years and 4 months of your life that it's not like you won't even ever get. It's not like you can. It's short-term memory loss. I don't fucking know what I did, and everyone I know from them, they're dead. I'll never know.
I can't ask anyone.
And that would have felt like, damn, this woman's gone through some shit, which is crazy because again, it's like she looks like she's 23.
I know.
How about you cast
And
someone?
she has all her teeth, so she's done none of the drugs.
That's such a good point. That's the best point, okay? You know, there's one thing that you can tell if the drug addict recovered or not. Okay, there's two things. Teeth, which can be fixed. You know what can't be fixed? The eyes. The eyes are always a dead giveaway, okay? You ever see someone do heroin?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Okay, you ever have maybe not seen someone actually doing it, but have you ever seen someone who's done it?
Yes.
You know, you can tell? It's the eyes.
Yeah.
That's simple. And you know what's great? And they could be having the best day of their lives. The absolute most dandiest day. There's a certain threshold in consumption where once you get past that mark, you can stop. The eyes, they're forever gone. Okay? And this bitch who's on all the drugs in the world shouldn't look like that. Okay? She should look like she's on crack whore confessions.
Dude,
okay?
exactly.
That movie I believe in. That's a dynamic, strong, and interesting character. Okay?
Yeah.
This feels like someone who's just faking their backstory.
It sounds like
someone who's a rich
fiction.
girl from the city who's like, oh, I want to be hood today, so I'm gonna fucking just talk about how impoverished I actually was. I'm gonna just make shit up. Oh, so many drugs. Oh my god, all the time, so many.
You felt like a you know, you can just touch. It's like just like a bag of sand in your hand.
Yeah, it's not like that at all, actually. And then she's like, those diaries told me the truth about my father. It was Billy Loomis. And then that she ruined their lives and all this heavy shit. And it's just like, surely there must have been a movie we missed of these two sisters having some sort of dynamic that falls apart and all the turmoil. Because so far, we don't know these characters, but they're treating us like we do know these characters and that we very, very much care about them.
It's because the two that wrote it were just fan. No, remember when?
And
Scream-
surely they would never just make a movie and say, no, here's the backstory. Here it is, all on the table.
they had to introduce in the first. That would make sense to the rest of the movie. So that's why they kind of just rushed through to have it get done right away.
Mm-hmm. Is that the same reason why Sam must have just been a real Weisenheimer back in her day? And it's so great that they cast a woman, like I said, who is well into her 30s and not some spry 21-year-old who doesn't at all seem like they have anything behind the surface to imply a complicated past or a face that says they are even old enough to have a complicated past. Because otherwise, if they didn't do that, they just cast some hot 20-year-old, I do think there's a chance that maybe that very, very supposedly important story beat could have been lost.
Well, it's a good thing they made sure that she
It's a
said
good thing.
all of the drugs.
Exactly.
Because then we can really know, well, this is complicated.
That's true.
If she specified
She's not just
one-
some fucking pothead.
Yeah, no.
No, of course
She's not just doing heroin. She's doing all of it.
all of them. What kinds? I couldn't even tell you.
So many kinds.
I didn't even. Most of the time, I didn't even know what I was taking. I was just taking everything. I was just like, give me.
Much.
And then Tara's like, Sam, have you ever done drugs before your entire life? And she's like, not once.
Every day of my life.
The only drug I need is ME. Ew. Ew. Gross.
And why does she even tell her
Exists?
then and there?
I have no idea.
The whole
Because they
conversation's
said,
so
oh, we're
forced.
20 minutes into the movie.
Drama time.
We have to establish it. We can't have something in the third act if we don't establish it in the first act.
It's just,
And then she runs out and she's like, it doesn't freak you out that my real father was a serial killer? And then he should have been like the guy who you've never had any contact with whatsoever.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
not really. Doesn't quite faze me all that much if I've known you for the last year or so and we're supposedly in love and boinking all the
No,
time.
it's only 6 months. They specified that she's known him for 6 months.
This is one of those things where we need boundaries as well. Why is your relationship this complicated for 6 months? How about, you know what? How about this? How about this? How about this? When your sister gets stabbed, don't bring your boyfriend in 6 months because that's traumatic, and maybe he's not going to make it past it. Maybe. You know what? That's the great point. If she had a better fucking head on her shoulders, okay, and if she actually,
There's all those drugs, man.
yeah, it's true, loop her up a little bit.
Yeah, it touches a little bit.
Think about if she just said, you know what? Actually, this is kind of a personal thing. I think I'm just gonna go see my sister alone. He'd be like, fuck. God, are you sure? God, fuck. Okay, yep. Bye bye. God damn it, shit. And instead, she's like, "No, come with me. My boyfriend for 6 months."
Well, she actually told him not to, and he was like, "No, come on, Sam. We're the boys.
True, we're the boys.
We gotta go together with
Yeah,
the boys."
We're the boys. Yeah. You know the part in the movies where they say you should get out. This is that part, Richie. You should get the fuck out.
You're such a dumbass, Richie.
No, you skip. No, you skip. No, you skip. You skip. No. He says, "I love you.
Oh, okay.
I love you. I fucking love you. I fucking love you." And she's like, "You're such a dumbass." And it was just like, how did they do it? They topped it. You know, I didn't think it could get any cooler than "I love you," and then Han Solo says "I know," but it turns out it can get cooler. All you have to do is a little gender reversal of the delivery, and you have it where the guy says "I love you" like a dumb bitch, and then the girl being all cool and shit, she's like, "You dumb moron, fuck you." And then everyone's like, "Oh, this is the love story. Where this was emotionally connected. This is the movie right now. This love story of passion. Oh, they're in heat. Surprised they're not fucking right now." So cool, so awesome, just as good as I know. And then it was great too, because then I wrote this down. I said, if Dewey doesn't save this discount bin movie, I'm gonna be really pissed. Almost as angry as I was when Dewey walked on the screen without Dewey's theme.
Yeah.
Now, before I continue with that concept, I can say he didn't save the movie, so I actually am pissed because I was wrong. He didn't save anything. I've heard this entire movie. Okay?
Yeah, no, so did I.
There's one thing I remember, and I'll let you know when we get to it. It'll be a surprise, okay? It'll be like a plot twist, all right? And you're thinking, that's not a plot twist. And it's like, well, but after watching that movie, I heard them talk about what a lot of things they thought were plot twists were, and they weren't. So again, I think it's just another term where it's now just been reshaped over time. Now it just means whatever the fuck you want it to. Something along that, you know? And I don't care if, you know, Dewey, they're not going to play this song because he's not in the right state of mind, and this is the shell of Dewey, so we're not going to play Dewey's theme. How about instead you actually just fucking play the song? How about that? How about you play the fucking song from Broken Arrow, and we get our fucking moment, and then you can actually trick me into liking the movie? Like the same way you do with the Red Right Hand? Because for a second, I was like, wait, is this a good movie? They're playing Red Right Hand. Whoa, hold on. Is this a good movie? They're playing Red Right Hand. Is this a good movie? You could do the same thing. You could play Dewey's theme. So. You could have him walk in, establish it, and then if you want to do some goofy ass shit, cut the music off, be like, oh, he's a loser now. He's a loser. We're not gonna play the song, and then you can play back, and then the movie when he dies, and be like, oh, we're playing it again.
They should have just killed Jenny Ortega in the opening like every other movie, and then opened up on Dewey right there.
Not even that, dude. If you don't want to kill her in the opening scene, fine. Have her be the main fucking character then.
Fine, but then
why is the girl get killed in the opening scene, not get killed, and then proceed to not be in the movie?
It's a good point.
Fucking kill her.
Well, it's some of those things you introduce in the first act to have it come back in the third act.
Right. They thought we can't not have Jenna Ortega in the first act,
Unless
then we can't have her in the third act.
It'll be too confusing.
And like, God, this writing thing is so tough.
It's hard as shit. You have to introduce everything in the first 20 minutes.
God, man, nothing scarier than a blank page. Am I right? It's like, drop dead.
No, and then it should have skipped all that other bullshit. Just gone straight to Dewey with his theme song. That should have been the opening.
The only redeeming part of the entire movie though was when the Rugrats left Dewey alone in his trailer, and then Gail's TV show came on, and he just spit on his hand, started rubbing one out to the television set.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty fucking cool, honestly. That was pretty admirable.
Do you find it just as odd as I do that I guess their couples therapist said the only way you two can work this out is if you go reenact it all on screen?
Yeah.
and just basically reenact your marriage falling apart for everyone. It's the only way you can really get the closure you need together. Because I don't think that had to be in the movie. It's kind of just weird how much and they're comfortable acting it out.
I agree. I think it's uncomfortable.
Super weird.
I think it's even weirder, and I'll explain when we get to those points.
Okay.
Before you jump ahead, that's fine.
I didn't jump ahead.
What'd you think of?
He was crying about his wife as he was jerking off to her on watching her on TV. I didn't jump ahead.
You know what was really cool in the scene though with Dewey and Samantha?
I forgot who Samantha was.
When she was, well, this is why, because she was like, "My name is Samantha Carpenter. I was attacked last night at the hospital. The night before that, my sister was stabbed 7 times. I know you know what that's like. I'm just trying to protect my family." It was really cool. It was really cool how she just short circuited and chose every single dialogue option for the NPC, and she just rattled them all off rapid fire. And she was just saying, she's like, "I'm just gonna throw as many darts as I can, see if any of them land." So she's like, "Dude, I got stabbed. My sister got stabbed. I'm a girl. I love my family."
Luckily for her, they all.
And then he's like, "All right, you know, I'll admit the first 3 didn't give me the family thing. I'm willing to help. All right, you got me." It's like, I'm really glad that worked. I'm really glad she just expelled all that at once. It was really cool. It's really awesome.
He also was like, "I don't do interviews," and she goes, "We're just here to ask you some questions." That's what an interview is.
That is what an interview is.
And he's like, "Okay,
it's funny,
come on in."
It's, you know, it's a new Scream movie, but it's still like the old movies. You know, in the old movies, they had a very piss poor idea of what the word investigate meant, and in this movie, they're like, what was that word we wanted to use in the script?
Interview?
Interview. Yeah.
What does that mean again?
I don't know, but it's got that oomph to it. You know, it's got that bite to it. It just sounds good.
It sounds really
yeah,
good.
it sounds like that. It sounds like that Hobbs and Shaw line you came up the other day, man. You were on a roll.
Yeah, that was
Oh
good.
my God, you're good, man. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
I got that. I got interview. Whatever the fuck that word means. I got a lot of good ideas.
And like, dude, honestly, I'll probably come up with another word too. I'm already in a groove today, man. I feel good. And then we get Huey from The Boys is the killer. It's fine.
Oh, that we
It
can
is fine
spoil.
because at this point in the movies watching after they've gone and talked to Dewey, it's like this movie has gone so far. The first movie led us to believe Billy was bad, and then they showed us he wasn't bad, and then they were just like, "All right, your guard's down. He actually is bad." This movie, every time Huey talks, he's like, "I'm not the killer. I'm not.
It's all he's doing.
I'm not the killer." And then and then the friends are saying, "It could be your boyfriend." He's like, "No, never could it be."
Also, he hashed up this whole plan in 6 fucking months.
Yeah, no, I guess he was working on it beforehand on Reddit.
Yeah, it's good.
That was so cool. And the movie was like, I found him on a subreddit. Jumping ahead, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. But no, my point is, don't have every character who meets him to say, "Oh, he's the killer,"
I'm not the killer.
and then it's like he's the killer. So every character is right but the main one, the main character, the one we're supposed to like. Okay. Is this the new meta thing where it's like reverse postmodernism where you actually hate the main character? That's fucking genius.
How else could one properly meditate on womanhood and
grief, motherhood and grief?
Why can't I learn grief? I'm such an idiot.
Idiot. God.
dumb.
Such a loser.
Ask me if I'm the killer.
Are you the killer?
I'm not the killer.
No.
All right, I'm the
Norm.
killer.
He's like, you're doing that thing when you raise your voice, you know, when you're lying. I don't do that. All right, Norm, have you ever been skydiving? No. Okay, you ever been to the Grand Canyon? No. Do you find Sean Connery sexually attractive? No.
Are you the killer?
No. They should have tried that age-old trick on the doofus.
That's true. Probably would have fell for it, too.
He should be like, are you the killer? And he's like, no. They're like, hey, if you're the killer, you have to tell me. He's like, oh, shit, I am the killer. Fuck, I didn't know about that.
Scout's honor.
God, Scott's on her. Hey, oh!
How long have you been in? I've been doing it all my life, man, since I was 7.
I just joined, man. I'm sorry. Now it feels weird. Now I'm going to kill the guy who has such seniority over me. I don't know if I can go through with this anymore, man. I didn't realize you were one of the scouts.
Maybe that's the kind of character development this movie needed to actually make it worth something.
Yeah,
now I'm invested in that Boy Scout troop leader.
Give us 5 minutes of pad and a pen, man. Scream 5's at least a little better. Marginally, for
You know,
sure.
it's not that scary. That blank page.
Yeah, the movie's a complete piece of shit. Dewey didn't save it, but you know what was cool for a split second there in the first 20 minutes when they were like, hey, here's Sydney in a sports bra.
Sydney looked good. New school Sydney is
For a
pretty
split
hot.
second, I was for a split second this movie had instead of both of you out the door, my one friend was like, hold on, wait, hold on. What is going on here for a second? You know, I
Good
had
thing
to
she
pick
doesn't
up.
lock her door. We could easily stay invested a little bit if we want to.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm surprised I didn't come back to play some crucial role where in the third act they're like, no, wait, leave the door open.
I think it did at one point. Wasn't fucking.
There was a lot of
Randy's niece walking in the
half-hearted
house?
things I noticed here and there, like a bunch of really weak half-hearted things to do. And also, not to mention, but then they ruin it because she talks and her like opening line is like, "Oh yeah, dude, I know things they didn't end well with you guys," which is by far the weirdest way to talk about a divorce ever. Things didn't end well. They got it's been years. First of all, we're in a relationship. It's been like at least 5 years, and she ends the phone call with him saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry that thing what you did with Gail didn't work out. That something happened between you guys and it didn't end well." It's one of the many times this movie just decided to say, "Okay, we need to just say fuck the characters and just talk directly to the audience."
Yeah,
we just need to fill them in. We just need to constantly throw stuff at them so they know. Oh wait, why is the character saying that? Doesn't matter. Just so you know. It's just so you know.
You know, it'd be more interesting because they haven't talked like you said. It feels like at least 5 years. The last movie happened 11 years prior. What happened in that fucking 6-year window where you guys all stopped talking?
In that 6-year window, you know, the art imitates life, and Gail dumped Dewey for being too fun and fucking too well, just like Corny Cox dumped David Arquette for very said reasons.
No, in the movie she dumps him because he wants to stay in Woodsboro.
That's true. I forgot about that.
He's a loser.
He's a loser. This actually isn't new school Dewey. This is also old school loser Dewey.
Yes.
So for now he's older and a bigger loser.
This is Deputy Doofus, Dewey.
No, this is unemployed Dewey.
Yeah, that's.
And also, based on the fact they said that they forced him to step down, does he have like benefits, or is he just straight up bumming it?
Yeah, why'd they force him to step down? Because of the divorce or something serious?
They're like,
Did he shoot someone he wasn't supposed to?
more likely than not, yeah.
Fucking doofus.
Yeah, absolute fucking doofus.
Dewey Doofus.
Dewey Doofus. I'm also surprised that they had Sidney Prescott have a gun, and more so that she says, of course Sidney Prescott has a gun. And I'm really surprised that they missed out on the great opportunity just to lecture the audience on gun violence and explain to us why all cops are obviously bastards, and why only those people who are, in fact, they're saying bastards should only be the only ones who have guns, you know?
True.
It would have been a nice teaching moment in the movie, but for whatever reason, it was really gross and honestly inappropriate how Sidney was like, of course I have a gun, almost like glorifying it in some way and like normalizing it, removing the stigma that should, of course, be attached to it.
Her husband's a cop.
Oh, yeah. Is she married? She has kids, apparently.
She picked Mark. He's a keeper. They act like the fourth movie didn't happen. They act like the third movie was the last time these people were together.
It's the American wedding thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed your wedding.
Like, I'm not going to miss our 13th year reunion.
Wow, Oz. That means a lot. Thanks.
No problem. Always here for you, pal.
And then finally, they do play Dewey's theme. It's holy shit, he came, and it's Dewey's theme plays, and they're playing it.
Best moment of the movie.
It probably really was. It was really cool, too, how he overcame his crisis of faith so fast. And all it took was a very, very brief conversation with a complete stranger. And he was like, you know what? Fuck it.
I'm glad you bring that up.
I'm back on board.
Everybody seems to be so on board with these strangers.
They have absolutely smitten with her, dude. She must smell amazing.
Yeah.
All right. There must be some straight up Batman and Robin,
yeah.
Poison Ivy pheromones going out there where everyone's just like, God, she's fantastic. Unfortunately, since cinemas, for whatever reason, have still failed to really, put their feet in the mud and get this whole smell-o-vision thing down, it doesn't translate to the screen, that chemistry that must have been all over the set.
Guys, Disney's doing it. You got to catch up. It's the next thing.
And then we go see the friends, and we get to go see Heather Mazawa, whatever, from Princess Diaries, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, I love you to death, Robbie, but if you're whacked, I'm actually not going to put your fucking prom photo in a 24x36 next to my TV in my living room where I'm always staring at it 24/7.
I respect that decision.
And honestly, too, if my kids are teenagers and have a really, 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 really intense obsession with you, like these knuckleheads do for their uncle who they never fucking met, I think I'm shipping them off to boarding school.
I respect that decision.
Because I think they might be fucking serial killers.
Very strong chance.
Especially if, not to mention, too, that your death, my brother, was then turned into a Hollywood adaptation.
I'm not comfortable talking about this so much.
Huh?
I'm not comfortable talking about me dying so much.
Fucking, they're gonna make a glorified Hollywood, adaptation of it, and then my kid's like, "Oh, can I watch it again?
I know, it's so
Can I
fucking
watch it?"
weird.
It's like, did you guys? How about this? Check this out.
And his sister's cool with it? She's
like, "Yeah, I love the movie.
She's
I'm
not
a cinephile."
traumatized every time they play Stab, remembering how her brother
She's
fucking
like, "Oh my
died?
god, this is the best part." Oh my god, this part's so cool when he doesn't almost die. And you know what's really funny too, kids? He lives here, and you're thinking like, oh, he survives. Like, yeah, not for long.
Wait till the
Next thing I knew, he goes off to college. We had a very deep personal conversation where I was like, hey, don't go die on me. He's like, I promise I won't. And then he fucking died and left me alone. And then they're like, Mom, can you shut up? Can we hit play, please?
You're really bringing the whole movie
And she
down.
goes, drinks her fucking feelings away, which honestly, it's probably why she looks so shitty. Too much alcohol. It's always, eventually it catches up with everyone.
It always does.
It always does.
That's the real lesson of the movie. Alcohol always catches up.
That was the meditation in the movie. What's your favorite part about Scream? The meditation of alcoholism and to reject hedonistic ways. Oh.
I said
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah. You can go fuck yourself.
I say like Scream.
What was my favorite part of Scream? Probably how Judy Hicks's son is the one who accuses Dewey of potentially being the killer when he's literally the only person in that fucking room who in theory would even know Dewey because his mom was in the same class.
Such a good point.
His mom was in the same class as Dewey's sister Tatum. His mom worked underneath him, the sheriff, for, I'm assuming, years as his deputy, right-hand man. And it's a small town. And you know what's really the best point? You want to know who cops know? Cops. You know who cops hang out with? Cops.
Yeah.
You always hear people saying, I grew up in a family of cops. I come from a family of cops. Oh, I've been around cops my entire life. So how the fuck is this kid? And more importantly, too, your dad's out of the fucking picture clearly in this movie, and your mom was madly in love with Dewey in the last one. You're just like, I'm unfamiliar with this man. Maybe he's the killer.
And
you don't know him?
And based on math, this kid was probably 10 the last time. So
Yeah, I know. She miraculously has a 34-year-old son, even though she didn't have kids in the last movie whatsoever.
Cougar and Cub, man.
That's actually not her son. That was actually just them. It's her son, but it's not like her biological son. You know, it's like it's more of her like
For tax purposes, it's her son.
for legally speaking, it's like kind of like that whole like when Woody Allen's like, I'm gonna marry you, so it's fine. It's like, maybe we should stricken that rule. Maybe we pass new legislation and say, you know what, that loophole, we're gonna pull that rope tight. Can't go through it anymore. There's no more loop. None of that. But this is Woodsboro, so
And their cops are volunteers, so you can't expect them to close up the loopholes.
that'd be too much for them to do, right? They got to come up with all those cool one-liners later
They're
on for the third
volunteers.
act.
They're not going to go through that kind of paperwork.
Good point. And then also not to mention, why wouldn't we just set up Dewey with Hicks together? Now that Gal's out of the picture. Then Dewey is actually involved, and then his wife is killed, and his stepson is killed, and his stepson's friends are all killed, and he's a part of the story and not living in a van down by the river.
That's a really good idea.
And since they were in love, and for some reason, the marital status of the actors has to reflect the film. So now since they're divorced, obviously the characters are too.
Obviously.
Because the suspension of disbelief would be ruined otherwise.
It'd be confusing otherwise.
And then also, the first movie talked about Carpenter's Halloween, which came out 20 years prior, and no one sat in the theater saying, yo, why the fuck are they talking about Jason Takes Manhattan? So I don't understand why this movie has to just cocksuck every movie made in the last 8 years. Oh, Jordan Peele. Every person's like, oh my God, I love horror. It's like the first movie mentioned it like 10 times. There's one character.
Yeah.
And they were in a fucking video store. Okay? You had it there. You had the blueprint. It's a very simple formula.
Oh, God. It's just so annoying listening to the characters explain rules at this point.
It's so goddamn annoying. Oh, you're the killer. Oh, you're the killer. Or you're the killer. Or you're the killer. Or you're the killer. It makes perfect equal sense. You're the killer. No, it doesn't. First rule of these movies. Don't split up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Stop trying to make recroll of things. Stop accusing every single person you meet. Stop being meta. I'm barely hanging on
God,
here.
the meta-ness is so annoying. Not in my movie.
Not
This is
in my
my
movie.
requel. This is my movie. This is my ghost face.
This is
And
my ghost face.
I don't know if we missed this part. I feel like it's so hard to hear where we are at this point. But when Sydney first finally... No, okay, you know, we're not at that part yet. I'm not going to fuck up.
Well, what happens next is Sam is driving away and Billy's in her backseat, like motivating her. Billy Loomis, what the fuck? Jesus. And then he's in the backseat all like, movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. And it's just like, she screams no at him, which feels like a lot. I guess it's because, you know, it was so cool when Rustin was having all those visions when he was driving his car, and in True Detective, he broke the illusion by screaming at it. Mm-hmm. That was so cool. So that's what I did in this movie. They're like, oh, how does she break the whole trance? Oh, she screams in a car by herself, and Billy's
She should do the
vision's
Jake
like, oh
Gyllenhaal.
shit, she needs to be alone right now. Fuck.
She should do the Jake Gyllenhaal approach where she just
And
shook
broken
the
the mirror?
fucking mirror, screaming
That
at
would have been cool.
Billy.
It would have been fun if she actually acted. That would have given her a chance to act. Because realistically, it's like, sure, did she do it? Listen, did Sam act once this entire movie? No.
Yeah, no,
not even
not
a
at
little
all.
bit. But then again, looking at it, now that we've watched it, I don't see even that many chances where they're like giving her reason to act.
True.
Maybe
In her
she's doing her
defense, she
job.
might be great. That dialogue's fucking horrific.
Honestly, unless it's like Orson Welles talking, it's not going to sound good.
Such
all
a
right,
good point.
and it's not, especially when it's no, just in general, it's not going to sound good. It's just not. So it's not going to sound good. So you probably shouldn't film it and then release it to everyone. But they did that.
And then they did it for Wes.
And then that was the exact moment where we turned it off and we waited a whole entire day to watch the second hour because the first hour was so goddamn dreadful, which is.
Bye, Chiquito.